All she wanted was to get a job as a normal young lady and earn a living, but instead she ended in a body bag. This is the sad story of the murder of Madison. In Seattle, Washington, a city where the rain never truly stops, and neither does the work of the homicide unit. In May 2023, a quiet corner of the city's tech district would become the center of one of the most disturbing investigations the department had seen in years. On May 14th, 2 days after she was last seen, 27-year-old Madison Carter was reported missing by her roommate. Madison had gone to a job interview at a company called Rainier Tech Solutions and never came home. Her phone went dark around 6 p.m. that same evening. Her last message: "Interview went great. Heading home soon." Madison was a recent graduate of the University of Washington, ambitious, quiet, and by all accounts, cautious. Friends described her as someone who never took unnecessary risks. She had been applying for marketing roles for weeks. When a recruiter reached out through what looked like a company email, she didn't think twice. But that address, at rainiertechnicalhr.com, wasn't real. At first, no one at Rainier Tech remembered interviewing her, until detectives met Ethan Danner, a 33-year-old IT supervisor who worked in the same building. Danner was polite, cooperative, even offered to help check Madison's visitor logs. But his name kept surfacing in ways it shouldn't have. On the day of Madison's interview, Danner's office access logs showed he entered the HR floor at 2:57 p.m., 3 minutes before Madison arrived. His explanation: "I was troubleshooting the server." But the company didn't report any server issues that day. What follows is the timeline investigators pieced together, minute by minute. 3 p.m., Madison arrives at Rainier Tech Solutions. She's captured on the security camera entering the building's glass doors. 4:15 p.m., internal badge system shows her exiting the HR suite. But the footage from that exit? Missing. 5:31 p.m., Madison texts her roommate, "Heading home soon." 6:12 p.m., her phone pings one last time. Then, suddenly came the silence. Detectives from Seattle PD's Major Crimes Division took over on May 15th. Among them was Detective Laura Kim, a 10-year veteran of homicide investigations. She'd seen missing persons before, but something about Madison's digital trail felt too clean. When Rainier Tech's IT department provided their internal email backups, one address had been purged manually. It traced back to a single workstation, Ethan Danner's. Detectives executed a search warrant on Danner's home on May 17th. The residence, neat, suburban, ordinary. But inside his garage, investigators found something that stopped them cold. A roll of industrial-grade plastic sheeting, and a set of work boots caked with what appeared to be dried soil and plant roots, not from any urban backyard. Samples were collected and sent to the King County Forensic Lab. Results matched soil composition consistent with Green River Trailhead, 25 miles southeast of Seattle. At the time, no body had been found. 5 days later, a hiker on the Green River Trail called 911 after noticing disturbed earth along a clearing. At 3:42 p.m., May 18th, patrol officers arrived. Their body cameras recorded the moment they brushed away the top layer of soil and discovered what looked like the curve of a human shoulder beneath the mud. The remains were partially buried, shallow enough that recent rain had exposed parts of the grave. Identification came hours later: Madison Carter, age 27. The case shifted overnight, from missing person to homicide. Ethan Danner, the man who had claimed to help with her interview, became the prime suspect. Forensics recovered microscopic fibers from beneath Madison's fingernails, dark synthetic threads consistent with the fabric of Danner's office chair. And the cause of death: blunt force trauma to the left temporal region. The weapon, a broken metal lamp base found discarded behind Rainier Tech's dumpsters. Seattle police now had enough for an arrest warrant, but Ethan Danner had vanished. His phone, vehicle, and wife gone. What followed would become a statewide manhunt. Within hours of the discovery, search teams expanded the perimeter at Green River Trailhead. Every inch of that forest was treated as potential evidence. A detective, Laura Kim, had these to say: "We knew whoever did this didn't take their time. The grave was shallow. That told us he panicked. People who panic make mistakes. Investigators cataloged tire impressions near the site, a tread pattern later identified as Continental Cross Contact LX, used on Subaru Outbacks. Only one person of interest owned that model, Ethan Ross Danner. When detectives pulled Danner's online data, they found a curious gap. His cloud storage had been wiped clean, but one digital trace remained, a set of deleted navigation searches recovered through subpoenaed Google data. Among them, Green River Trail parking access. Entered the evening Madison disappeared. The cybercrime tech team reported this. He probably thought deleting the app erased everything. But Google keeps a shadow log. We found that query at 7:04 p.m., May 12th. This timestamp placed Danner on the road, driving southeast, just minutes after Madison's phone signal died. Detectives located Danner's wife, Kara, at her sister's home in Kent 3 days later. Body cam footage shows the moment she opened the door, visibly shaken. Detective Kim said, "Mrs. Danner, we're not here to accuse you of anything. We just need to know where your husband is." Kara's voice trembled. She told investigators Ethan left suddenly the night of May 18th, the same day Madison's body was found. He'd taken his SUV and a duffel bag. He said he needed to clear his head. "I thought he was having a breakdown." She handed over his laptop. What she didn't realize, it would become the case's turning point. At SPD's Digital Forensics Unit, analysts recovered fragments of an erased folder named _candidate_profiles, containing photos and resume attachments from several women. Every file had been downloaded from spoofed HR email accounts, identical to the one sent to Madison Carter. Among the names was another woman, Alyssa Grant, who had reported a strange job interview invitation weeks before Madison vanished. Detectives contacted Alyssa Grant. She confirmed receiving an email for a marketing position at Rainier Tech, but something felt off. Alyssa Grant, a witness, said this. "The office was dark. The guy who met me said HR had left early, but he could fast-track my application. I left immediately. It was weird." She identified Ethan Danner from a photo lineup without hesitation. That single testimony transformed the investigation, turning a circumstantial case into a pattern of predatory behavior. With probable cause established, a statewide alert was issued. Bolo, Ethan Ross Danner, white male, 33, driving a gray Subaru Outback, WA plates 8LZ3341. The search stretched from Seattle to Spokane. Tips flooded in, most false. But on May 27th, a Washington state trooper near Ellensburg reported a gray Subaru abandoned behind a rest stop. Inside, Danner's phone, a duffel bag, and a prepaid flip phone still powered on. No sign of Danner. The physical evidence collected by the investigation team are tire impressions, photographic plus cast samples, fiber swabs from victims' nails, plastic sheeting, garage, soil trace from suspect's boots, digital artifacts, navigation data, spoofed emails. Here comes the key breakthrough. DNA from skin cells embedded in the plastic sheeting matched Madison Carter's profile with a likelihood ratio of 1 in 4.1 trillion. Detective Kim said this. "That was the moment the science spoke. You can argue about memory. You can't argue with DNA." On June 2, 2023, a call came in from a motel in Yakima County. A manager reported a man paying cash, matching Danner's description. When SPD and U.S. Marshals arrived, they found him sitting on the edge of the bed, calm, expressionless, hands folded. He didn't resist arrest. In the recorded interview, Danner denied everything. He claimed Madison left safely and that someone else had set him up. But digital forensics, cell tower data, and vehicle traces told a different story. Detective Kim, while interviewing Danner, asked, "You lured her with a fake job posting. We know because you used your own Wi-Fi to send the email. We found her DNA on the plastic wrap in your garage. We found your fingerprints on the lamp base." Danner looked down and said, "You can't prove I killed her," he said quietly. But by then, they already had all the evidences they required to send him to jail. By the summer of 2024, more than a year after Madison Carter's disappearance, the case of State of Washington versus Ethan Ross Danner reached King County Superior Court. For the detectives who had lived with the evidence day and night, this was the moment when the science would have to speak for itself. Jury selection began on a gray Monday morning. Reporters lined the courthouse steps. Inside, prosecutors summarized a story told not by witnesses, but by data, cell pings, digital fingerprints, and soil particles smaller than a grain of salt. The prosecutor said, "Every footprint, every search query, every deleted file was a breadcrumb that led back to this defendant." The defense countered that the digital evidence was circumstantial and interpreted through confirmation bias. Over 3 weeks, jurors were walked through the investigation's milestones. A forensic geologist explained how minerals in the suspect's boots matched the Green River Trail soil sample. A digital forensics expert reconstructed the spoofed HR emails, showing they had been sent through a home Wi-Fi router registered to Danner's address. And Detective Laura Kim described the painstaking chain of custody process that preserved each item from scene to lab to courtroom. Detective Kim had this to say: "Every bag was sealed, logged, and signed twice. Nothing was left to chance." Madison's roommate took the stand first, her voice steady but quiet. Then came Alyssa Grant, the woman who had escaped the same trap. Her testimony introduced a pattern of predatory contact that prosecutors said was the key to motive and method. When the jury heard about the deleted folder titled Candidate Profiles, the courtroom fell silent. It was a digital footprint of intent, captured in code. Defense attorneys argued that the government's access to Danner's cloud backup violated privacy expectations. The judge's eventual ruling, that digital cloud warrants were admissible if tied to probable cause, would later be cited in 2 state appellate decisions. After 8 days of deliberation, the jury returned unanimous findings on all counts. The courtroom was hushed as the clerk read the decision. For investigators, the verdict closed the procedural file, but not the emotional one. Outside, Detective Kim faced a row of cameras. She spoke only one sentence: "Justice is never perfect, but it's still justice." In August 2024, the court imposed a life term without parole. There was no visible reaction from the defendant. For Madison's family, the words were both closure and echo. Madison's mother said this in tears: "We wanted the truth more than anything. Today we finally heard it." Some online commentators claimed Madison may have left the office alive, citing missing minutes in CCTV footage. But forensic timestamps showed the recording gap was caused by a scheduled software reboot. In the end, the alternative theories folded under scientific scrutiny.